Welcome to the True Mark. Do we need spirit to get into heaven? I believe so. I watched a video a few days ago, and it's the guy had it where people died and went to heaven. And they were saying some people went there, met Jesus, and some people met Moses, and some people met their uncle or their aunt, and they went to heaven, and they all said it was colorful, really multiple colors and stuff. But I come to wonder, like, why didn't they get to stay there? I believe it's because they didn't have, full spirit within them. Like, heaven ain't gonna allow you in there unless you're totally full spirit, or else they were claiming there's levels in heaven, like where you're like, somebody that's, has broke the law or whatever, or the way they lived in their earthly life has levels to heaven. And somewhat I believe that as well as and that means, like, within your spirit, say from 1 to 100, everybody in the planet has the spirit within them, and God gives us, like, even, the crumbs to keep us, our spirits fed by. And what I mean by that, it's like when you get music, some artists that write a song and they don't even know how they got that song. Well, that's God's doing. Use that person to make that song to feed our spirits, our unknown spirits that we don't even know that we have. And we do have the spirit, and it's the minimum. But it's like I said, God's crumbs keeps our spirits fed. And like and when we do things in our day-to-day basis, and when we do wrong, our spirits decline. It pulls the energy from us. But God's crumbs keeps our spirits more fed, and that's just the little bits. But so imagine if you get a full meal, our spirits day to day, like you have to do it, day to day. And like I said before, I live by the keys to heaven, and that's the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And that feeds my spirit day to day, like full meals. And it's like if you ate a meal at supper time, like a steak, potatoes, vegetables, or a stew, you don't know what it does for your body. Like, it happens after the facts. The next day you feel what that meal did for you. And that goes with the spirit. The more you feed it, more it grows. So even the crumbs that we get, when we don't even know we have the spirit, is still being fed. You could get the worst guy on the planet, but if he has a little kid, a baby, and he knows love, and he tells his wife, oh, he loves the baby. Well, sure he does. That's the spirit within him. The crumbs that he got still has the spirit. And that little spirit shows love. And that's God's trying to get your attention, get our attention by doing that, giving us some crumbs. So we have that little ability. He's trying to reach into us. And like he's trying to reach us in our darkness. And by giving us some crumbs, it gives us a little bit of light. So when things do happen around us, shines light within us, and that's because we got crumbs from God. And that's like the little meals of the, like maybe that's not the really good terms to make it. It's like smallest part of the spirit needs food. And just to give it as little as possible, it will take us longer to get to our journey of our spirit, to get to that 100%. And that's if we go by 1 to 100. And yes, I believe heaven has to have spirit. And when you die and you got 5%, you will go to heaven, but you're going to be in a part of that level where them guys were speaking of, that people that went to heaven and seen all these colors, seen all these people. But there's levels, and that's what they were claiming. And I couldn't understand that, but now I do. And that's where I say, like, if your spirit's only got 3%, 5%, 70%, wherever it's at, but you'll know yourself of your actions of day-to-day living on earth, where your spirit's at. Because they say the fruits that we give out of our day-to-day, you know, do you love your neighbor? Do you love your enemy? Or into that aspect is, yeah, like, I mean, it's, we all need spirit, and we need it fed. And in order to feed it, like I said, I use the keys to heaven to feed my spirit, and it works. It gives me the abilities to see things that I never would have seen before, and growth will always keep growing. Your spirit will continue to grow if you keep feeding it. But if you're taking little crumbs, it does feed you too, but it's just going to take longer to get where you're going. And God's intentions is to reach into you, like, and if you got a little bit of spirit and He's nudging at you, and you don't pay attention to it because your spirit's not strong enough. But when your spirit's strong enough, you'll be able to see it. So, yes, you do, like I said, you do need the spirit, and it needs to be fed. And is heaven real? Yes, I believe so. But it also needs, like, the spirit to get there, to get your position. If you get a higher positions, you get to roam around into heaven. It's like on earth. If you have no money and you're in a grocery store to buy food, it doesn't matter who you are. You know, the high class, middle class, low class. Either of you, all three of people are in the store and they've got a bucket full of food, and they're at the cashier and they asked, you know, like, they got no money. Well, you ain't getting the food. They take it back. But if you got no spirit, you got no position in heaven. Like, I mean, you got the lower end classes, levels, or whatever they talk about. And I'd want to have food on earth, so that I need money to earn it. So you earn your money. And even on earth, with a good spirit, you'll have better abilities to earn your money to have that food. And that's the same thing in heaven. You'll have that abilities to have more areas to go into heaven, to, you know, because if you have more spirit, you'll have more abilities. If you like, press like and subscribe. Well, it's like a speed dial. Till next time.